Herring Review.
What's going on, Yidden? Welcome back to Herring Review.
What's going on, Yidden?
So we're with Daniel Sababa Koren, who is the Executive Director of Allied Voices for Israel.
What's going on, Yidden?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to say that.
How did it feel?
Felt pretty good.
Yeah, so I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't have much of a plan for this Herring Review. I was kind of just thinking we could catch up and just talk about, like, Israel, because that's kind of what we are all thinking about.
Listen, first of all, thank you so much for having me on again. I've learned so much about herring through you, but also I have been so motivated by your passion. You know, usually through our organization, we're all about empowering students. I feel like with you, you're empowering us.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful feeling of nachas.
I'm touched.
To see you in action, doing what you're doing. Yeah, so that's number one. Number two, it's funny because we were just in Israel at the same time, but didn't get a chance to...
What was it like for you in Israel? What were you doing in Israel?
So our organization is called Allied Voices for Israel. We call ourselves Avi, right? Avi is also a nod to Avram, the father of the monotheistic faiths. And the work that we try to do is to unite Jewish and non-Jewish students in support of Israel and against hatred and against antisemitism more broadly. So we just had now a group of students on our Common Ground program. It's a delegation of students, Jewish and non-Jewish alike. And the whole idea is we're going to explore Israel's diversity. We're going to meet allies in Israel. We're going to meet Jewish people in Israel. We're going to meet non-Jewish people in Israel. And we're going to get a real experience on the ground.
Wow.
And that's what it was. And it was probably the most meaningful experience that I've ever had.
Wow. What was the highlight of it for you?
So there were a couple of highlights. If I can give you a couple of highlights, can I give a couple of highlights?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So
more than welcome to.
So the first highlight was obviously visiting the site of the Nova Music Festival. Unfortunately, I think every single Jewish person has lost someone that they loved on that day. I lost my cousin's firstborn son. His name was Laor Abramov. He was a wonderful boy, 20 years old. And it was a highlight, obviously, to be able to visit him and to be able to see, as hard as it was. It was a highlight because it was a way to mourn, I think, not just him, but everyone we lost on that day, right? And it's crazy being in Israel now where it's like a nation in mourning. Yeah. There's the yellow ribbons. We got this from Hostage Square. There's yellow flags everywhere. There's bring them home signs everywhere, and you can recognize that it's a different place, right? So being able to visit that site was just so meaningful, and I was able to speak about our cousin and what he was doing. He was an aspiring trance DJ. He was an incredible young boy. So that was really meaningful. It was meaningful for me to also share his story with our students, with our cohort of students. I think the other highlights were honestly seeing these students, Jewish and non-Jewish alike, get this incredible experience in Israel. You know what, the craziest thing was? That after the trip, it was the Israeli students and the non-Jewish students who were so shocked. Right, because the Israeli students were Israeli Canadians that were on the trip, were like, oh, we know, we're going to know everything there is to know. So they weren't expecting to learn anything new, and they were shocked at what they learned.
Wow.
And then I think for the non-Jewish students especially, they heard from Arab Israelis, they heard from Palestinians, they heard from Israelis, they heard from everyone in between, from left to right. And despite the wide range of opinions they heard, especially from across the political spectrum, the message remained the same. The pro-Hamas protesters at these encampments and at these universities are radical. They are not supporting Palestinians whatsoever, and everything they're doing is actually to the detriment of Palestinians. And whether you had a hardcore right-wing Israeli or you had a left-wing Palestinian, they agreed on that statement. And I think that was mind-blowing for these students.
It's also even for you, it's probably so relieving because I don't know, at least me being here, so I get caught up in this, why are these people calling, is there a case against Israel? But then you go to Israel and it's just everyone here is normal, Yeah. It's I'm back, I can breathe.
And so much so, right? We had the joke that whenever we visited the beach, I called it Apartheid Beach, right? And the reason I called it Apartheid Beach is because right now especially there's not many tourists in Israel. So literally the only people that are on the beach are the civilians, the people who live there. And overwhelmingly, when you go to the beach, you see 50% Israelis, Jews, secular, not modest whatsoever, and 50% Arab Israelis, fully in traditional garb, right? On the beach,
Yeah.
chilling,
Yeah.
coinciding, living,
It's crazy.
playing matkot.
Yeah, like you just need 1 minute in Jerusalem to see that there's no apartheid. Like, that's it.
I literally
1 minute.
I literally think, right, and this would obviously, wouldn't make any sense as an organization, but just to bring people to the airport and to be able to recognize
Yeah.
the diversity,
Yeah.
step outside for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and already I think destroys this laughable notion of apartheid.
Yeah, it's just like, how come we're not able to just destroy it on social media? I just don't get it.
I think social media, unfortunately, is a numbers game,
And
I think
there's
there's
so many of them.
unfortunately too many people, too many bots. I read a recent story that said at least 1/4, if not 1/3, of all anti-Israel protesters post October 7th are just bots,
Like
right?
on social media.
On Instagram, especially,
Wow.
right? It's bots.
Damn, I'm wondering if those are the people DMing me. Like calling me Nazi. Yeah.
Probably,
Oh, damn.
right?
So I feel less bad.
And I think while this is incredibly difficult, what I'm really hopeful for, and I see this through incredible young Judean warriors like yourself, is that this next generation is going to get stronger
Oh,
as a
100%.
result of this. You
Yeah.
be called silly names enough, and I feel like it won't affect you anymore.
Exactly. We're just tired of it, and we want Mashiach to come, as we were saying. We just wanna go on.
Ve'ezrat Hashem, we want peace and coexistence and human rights for all.
So on this yeshiva trip, one thing I actually learned
Please.
was that we are almost at the point where there's more than half of the Jews in the world will be in Israel. So apparently that changes like a lot with regards to the Torah, because like some of the halachos change, like depending that a majority of the Jews are in the land, which is like pretty cool.
That is actually pretty cool. So what
Yeah.
changes then?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because I've read that within the next 25 years, they estimate it could be 70% of the world's Jews
Wow.
that are in Israel. Well,
Damn,
60 to 70.
'cause the anti-Semites are speeding it up.
Listen, I think France, after this new government was elected, there were 2,000 Aliyah applications within the first 24 hours. I would say, as a proud Israeli Canadian, that we need a strong diaspora.
Yeah.
I would never me personally, I would never encourage people to leave. We need people to stay and fight.
Yeah.
That's what I believe with all of my heart. I understand the notion of Aliyah, especially if for several reasons. And being in Israel right now, my neshama did feel like at home. So I really, really understand that. But at the same time, I believe it's the duty, of Jewish people to also represent, our community, stand up for our community, and fight.
Yeah, and like to have organizations to teach Yidden here, Hasbara, and like how to fight for Israel. That's super important.
Be'ezrat Hashem.
Like, I
to
wouldn't know
teach
anything.
Yidden and our
wouldn't know
incredible
anything if it
allies
wasn't for
also.
that. Yeah, exactly. And the one thing about that, you have allies in Avi that are so passionate about Am Yisrael, and some of them are even more passionate than Jews. It's insane. Like, why do they love us so much?
So one of our incredible students who was then a trip leader on our Common Ground program now, and who's actually going to be a full-time West Coast campus advisor with us. His name is Jean-Luc, and he was leading the chants of Hatikva or the chants of Am Yisrael Chai every single day.
Damn.
Right? And even he was with us on a Common Ground program we did in Rome in December, and I remember every day this guy was leading Am Yisrael Chai, and I was thinking that too. I'm like, some of these allies that we have here are so into it.
That's amazing.
I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think overwhelmingly from the allies we've worked with, they've recognized that what's happening is wrong, right? And I don't think it's a Jewish issue, it's a human rights issue, right? We're being targeted and demonized unfairly, unjustly. I don't believe that demonizing Jewish students on campus is freeing Palestine whatsoever,
Yeah.
And I believe that some of these allies have recognized that and have seen that and want to help fight for a better future, right? If you are pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, there's a space for you, and you should be able to live and exist, right? And on campuses today, that's not quite.
Yeah,
what's happening.
it's terrible. This last year was actually insane. It felt like it was on another planet.
Yeah,
Just like people not believing that like rapes happened and that these massacre even happened. Like at the Nova Festival, they just didn't even believe it happened. It was crazy.
I've been in the human rights anti-Semitism community for a long time, and there's data that shows that anytime there is an election, anti-Semitism goes up. Anytime there is a major event, anti-Semitism goes up, right? After 9/11, anti-Semitism went up. After COVID, anti-Semitism went up, right? So even things that aren't related to Jewish people whatsoever, anti-Semitism goes up, right? So you could only imagine then, following October 7th and following, Israel's response, understandably, that anti-Semitism would go up, right? And for me, I've been seeing this type of stuff for so long that none of it surprised me, sadly. None of it surprised me. But we have seen it on new heights, at new levels. And this is goes back to what I was speaking to earlier, that this generation that you are leading, Jeremy, is going to be stronger because there is no other option here, right? And we can't leave and desert or make aliyah or whatever it is, right? Because, my children are 5 and almost 2 years old. I want them to be able to have an option to live here. I want them to be able to thrive here, right? I don't agree with this notion that we all need to leave. And if it were ever to happen to something like that, something Nazi-esque, where they're coming to my door, right? I will go out with guns blazing. Okay?
Really?
They will not take me from here without a fight, and I hope that every single Jew follows that.
That's badass. To me, it's like, I don't feel like I'm abandoning Canada. I feel like I'm just going home. Like, that's how I feel.
See, and that's a beautiful thing, and I get that, right? I'm born in Israel, my family's in Israel, I get that. And I feel like I don't know how we could create a world where you don't have Jewish representatives standing up for what it is to be Jewish worldwide without the continued propaganda being propagated by our enemies, continuing to negatively inspire and influence people, right? I feel like the biggest challenge that we have in Canada, we represent 1% of this country's population, so there are no conversations being had between Jewish Canadians and average Canadians, and that's what lends itself to all this propaganda that they read about Jews, right? They read about Jews as white supremacists. They read about Jews as this and that, right? So they don't know the story of my people, the Bukhari Jews, or the Jews of the Jews of Ethiopia, the Jews of India, or what it is to be Jewish more broadly, right? And I think that we need to stay here to be able to fight that fight, and at the same time, of course, maintain that wonderful relationship we have with Israel.
Well, hopefully, I'll be back, and
it would suck to lose you full time. No. I guess it would be wonderful for Israel to gain you, so you can always look at it from glass half full.
I want to be able to be in both.
So do you want to make aliyah now for good? You never plan on coming back?
No, for sure. I'll plan on coming back here.
You plan on coming back here, but plan on coming back here to live, or you see yourself being able to live there now? Is that the goal for you?
Well, the goal is to raise a family there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So you want to find Mrs. Gishmak Herring in Yerushalayim in Israel, Bezrat Hashem.
Yeah, ideally that'd be pretty cool. Or even here, cool. But I don't know. Hopefully, if Gishmak Herring blows up, I could live in Israel, but also travel around and and go to the cottage in the summer in Muskoka.
Is this part of your aliyah objective, to find Mrs. Gishmak Herring?
Mrs. Gishmak Herring. What does that mean? My wife who eats herring?
Yes.
Yeah, well, she'll definitely have to eat herring. She'll have to.
I don't feel like that's
she says
non-negotiable.
No, it's actually a big red flag for me if someone doesn't like herring. It's
But you can teach them about it. They can get that way eventually.
Maybe if I have enough patience.
My wife, is Ashkenazi Canadian. She kept forcing me to have gefilte fish every year at Pesach. I'm like, no, I don't want this. This is nasty. And after 5 years that she forced me to have it, I'm like, damn, you know what?
Yeah,
it's actually delicious.
Yeah.
Especially with the Koren.
Yeah.
Now I'll have it
it's so good with the Koren. Yeah.
No, I'll have it at a random day.
100%.
And are you looking for, when you're going to be now in Israel, do you envision yourself finding a fellow, someone who also made aliyah, from Canada or the States, or are you looking for a full-bred sabra, for a full Israeli?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's specific. But whoever is my soulmate's my soulmate. But marrying an Israeli would be pretty crazy because their culture is so different from mine. Yes. So if I get married to one, it would be it'd have to be
I could see you being with a fiery Mizrahi woman.
Yeah.
Hey?
That'd be pretty sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't begin, if I may speak on behalf of the Jewish community, not just in Toronto and in Canada, we are so proud of you, and we are so honored to have a representative such as yourself. I'll tell you what I really appreciate about what you do and about Gishmak Herring. Post-October 7th, our community sadly has been obsessed with anti-Semitism, and we've been obsessed with negativity. And don't get me wrong, it's hard not to be, given the turmoil and the trauma that we've experienced. But it's also been wonderful to see positive stories and positive content, sharing that light. And that is literally Gishmak.
Yeah, that's what we try to
right?
do.
It's all been sharing that light. It's been that positive content. It puts a smile on our faces. And I think we need more and more and more of that.
100%.
You know,
Well,
so-
we're not going to stop.
Bezat
And
Hashem.
at the end of the day, it comes down to like Jews, we've been around for so long and we have so much tragedy, but we also have so much simcha. So we have to be able to feel both. And if I can contribute to the simcha, like I'd love to do that.
I think that's
You know?
beautiful. And
Yeah.
I think as Jews, we should be proud of our history and where we come from. Any people with lesser integrity, any people with lesser conviction would not have maintained their tradition, would not have continued to be Jewish, and it would have died out just like so many other ancient civilizations died out. And we did not, because to us, the importance of the temple, the importance of Israel, the importance of the guidelines that sustain us as a people is what allowed us to continue to be Jewish and proud today. And that's something I think that people of more modern mentalities will never be able to understand that.
Yeah. Except for the people at Allied Voices for Israel who love Am Yisrael.
What?
Yeah. Should we have a l'chaim to that?
We should definitely have a l'chaim
Alright,
to that. That's a fantastic
What are we
idea.
drinking?
So I don't have anything Israeli that's open yet, but we do have like a couple of things I brought from Israel that we're going to have like an event soon. And Bezat Hashem, you'll still be around, and we can open that up. But today we have some incredible reposado agave. So it's a form of tequila. I brought it straight from Mexico. It's 34%, so not like as strong as the 40%, but it's very nice.
Awesome.
And I think it would go well with herring as well.
Yeah, well, good thing we
What
got-
doesn't go well with herring,
Exactly. We got the BBQ herring from Gishmak Herring, brand new over here. Barbecue herring. Doesn't that sound kind of crazy?
right? That does sound kind
Yeah.
of crazy. Does this exist otherwise outside of Gishmak? Or
No,
is
it's the
Gishmak
first ever barbecue herring.
Like Bemet.
Bemet, yeah.
Like there's no other barbecue
yeah.
herring.
No. Yeah.
And it's barbecue like barbecue chips or barbecue like
It's barbecue like barbecue
shashlik?
chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a good question.
Interesting.
There we go.
I'm very excited to try this. When we first did a Gishmak herring 2 years ago or whatever it was, what was it? I'm trying to think. What was that?
I don't remember what we brought.
Damn.
Oh, I think it was like
good, though.
jalapeno. I think it was just a jalapeno
Yeah,
herring.
it was good.
Classic. Yeah, it was
It was
good.
a very.
Yeah, but it's not Gishmak.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm very excited to try
l'chaim,
Gishmak.
l'chaim.
This is
Over here.
carefully curated by you and
Yeah.
by the purveyors of what?
New Age fish.
New Age
New Age
fish.
fish. Gonna make a little bracha over here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shekol niyeh bidvaro.
Amen.
It's good. I like
nice,
it.
right?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Damn.
I know, right?
It's like sweet.
Yeah, tequila's sick, I'm telling you.
Tequila is sick.
Because it's,
This is sick tequila.
This is sick tequila. People always drink Blanco or whatever, and it's garbage, right? They have to drink Reposado or Añejo. It is the...
What about Jose Cuervo?
But,
Or as I say, Jose Cuervo.
yeah, you can. It just depends on the... like, I personally am just not into Blanco tequila, right? It's not as... Okay, so are we... do we
go.
open this bad boy up?
Yeah, we got the kich.
Do I thank you for the kichel, Jeremy?
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you for the kichel, Jeremy.
You're welcome for the kichel.
I'm very excited.
Sababa. Can we please get a plastic fork?
Yes.
Thank
Do
you.
we have?
Shout out to LJB. Oh no, this herring broke on the way here, but it's okay.
I love that you call Leah LJB, by the way.
of course.
I'm going to start doing
It's
that.
such a sick nickname.
Yeah, that is a sick nickname.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that on your own? I feel like you did.
Me and my friends came up with it.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
You see what an influence you make on these guys?
You guys are gonna have to pick it up with the
With the kich?
kid.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, we got
Very
nothing?
excited
Let's
to
show.
try
Okay, so
this.
look, this herring is very packed with onions.
Yeah, wow.
So it's great value. It's also really ethical and sustainable and stuff. So
And a strong smell.
exactly. It makes it. Oh no.
Ethical and
Okay.
sustainable because of the onions.
Exactly. And because of the geschmackness. Here we go. We'll get some on the kich over here. Just a little bit.
I want to be part of this now.
Okay.
Now I'm
You can
interested
come. You can come in.
Come in, LJB.
Shout out to LJB coming in the herring review right now. Take some kich.
This looks good.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yo.
Now we're gonna make after LJB gets her herring. We're gonna make another bracha.
Sababa.
LJB, do you like herring?
You know what? Let me tell you something.
What?
My father is like a German Ashkenazi Yekish man. And I went to the boat shul.
Huh.
And the boat shul is like the place for herring. It's like the herring HQ.
Well,
Did you hear
An
about
honor.
the boat
Well, there you go.
I've seen the boat shul. I gotta go.
You gotta go.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
L'chaim.
Amen.
Amen.
Hints of BBQ. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is solid.
Yeah.
I'll have one more.
I'm gonna have one more too.
That is solid.
Yeah.
Um,
We got really lucky that it's actually really good.
yeah.
Yeah, it
I was
tastes
honestly-
fresh.
I was scared.
Imagine
that
if it was
hit
bad.
Too hard.
If it was bad, that would be game
That
over.
would be game over.
This is delicious, Jeremy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
It's not strong.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And the herring's like butter.
What type of fish is herring?
Herring. That's
Herring.
the fish.
It's herring.
And
Yeah,
is there a white herring, a yellow herring? A
No.
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 So
but
when you say
there is
this
an
one-
expression called a red herring.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like something that's like something that gives something away.
I'm gonna eat.
See, but herring, they would differentiate between herring and fish. Why? Because it's
Who would?
so much smaller.
Who would?
Like I've heard people say that's not a fish, that's a herring.
Oh no, it's like the same size as sardine.
Ah, so it's like a
Oh,
very
herring.
tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, you need a lot of herring to.
Yeah, so that's why. Packed with herring right here. Best value, most sustainable too.
I love the onions.
Yeah. The
No,
onions
it's
we got
actually
perfect.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
size, so they fit on the kich, and they're also crunchy.
Is kech just tam, or is it also those nothings, or some marble toast, or is it just
To me, kich is just what you eat the herring on.
doesn't matter
But-
what it is? With avocado.
So my mom's side is South African, so to them, like kichel is like these little sugar-covered little flatbread crackers that are delicious.
Yeah, that's
So
what
that's
you
the
brought
nothing.
last time.
Maybe.
You brought kachel.
Penelope's left out. Can we give her?
Can Penelope
No,
have hair?
no, we don't need to.
Can she?
Yeah, she's allowed to eat herring.
Okay, wait, here, bring Penelope here.
You're
so
gonna
we
bring.
can,
You're gonna give herring to the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, do you want me? You can just sit.
Okay, go ahead. Herring review with the dog.
Should I give the dog?
You're gonna
kich?
give it a review.
Yeah.
Wait, are we giving a review? I forget.
Well, it's obviously 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
always 10 out of 10.
Okay, here we
Go to
go.
your establishment.
Penelope.
But not with the onion, though. No.
Oh wow, Jesus.
Damn, she raw dogged. No kich.
She rod.
She did.
Is that
Wow.
Is that good? Pee-pee?
Good girl.
good? Oh,
Yo, that's a Jewish dog if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. For real. Damn.
That is
Oh,
funny.
and she wants the kech. Go for it.
That is funny.
Wow.
Good job. Good job. There's your
Shabbos,
Rebbe
Penelope.
dog.
Oh, it is Shabbos. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
it is.
Exciting.
What's the plan for Shabbos?
Not as exciting as Shabbos in Israel, but
That's true.
pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Not
Shabbos
as
in
exciting as
Jerusalem.
Is this right now?
So we got a dog here now. So yeah, shout out to Penelope. Just had herring for the first time.
Have you had a dog taste herring before on Herring Review?
Not on herring review. Yeah. it's the
Okay,
first
so
time.
this is our first time.
Yeah.
Historical moment right
They
now.
got the BBQ herring.
Wow.
Yeah.
The BBQ was sick. The BBQ was sick. Honestly, it reminds me of
She wants more.
there's something funny from a book that I read that I think you'll appreciate. It's Mordecai Rickler. Do you know Mordecai Rickler from Montreal?
No.
Okay. So it's basically like a Jewish book, right? And in the book, you have this guy talking about facing anti-Semitism, right? And that he was saying how I had this guy who was constantly asking me, why are the Jews so smart? Why are you guys so smart? And he said, it's not a matter that the Jews are so smart. He says, take a dog. If you're going to kick around a dog for 2,000 years, that dog is going to be more alert. That dog is going to be perceptive. The dog is going
like
to
sneaky life hacks.
right? The dog is going to
make you
pay
survive.
attention to what's going around.
Yeah.
So he said, it's not that we're so smart, right? It's that we've learned, what to pay attention to, right?
Yeah.
That we understand how to survive, right? He said the second story of why Jews are so smart is about the Irishman and the Jew. The Irishman says to the Jew, why are you so smart? And the Jew says, oh, well, we eat a special kind of fish. So he says, geez, I'd love to have such a fish. So he goes, sure, give me $10. So the Irishman gives the Jew $10. And then he hands him the fish. And he says to him, this isn't a fish, it's a herring. And he goes, you see, you're getting smarter already.
Yeah. Because you can sell herring for those kind of prices.
Right, because the herring
Yeah.
is so much smaller. All right. But okay.
L'chaim to herring.
L'chaim and l'chaim to you.
Oh, man.
Should we do a shout-out?
It's from one of my favorite books.
totally
It's called
should.
Barney's Version. They made a movie out of it as well.
Oh, wow.
It's fantastic. It's a very, very fantastic book. Oh, yes,
Well,
of course.
Shout out to them.
We got some amazing donuts over here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amazing Donuts.
Shout
I
out.
love your donuts. Do you
What's
have
your favorite? What's your actual favorite one? And I know you said the blue one. Why one?
No, the
before?
Zap. The Zap.
Yeah.
This one.
Zionist and proud.
Nope. There's just
What?
the pink and blue one.
Oh, it's just called
Why is it
Zap?
called Zap?
I guess this is what it looks like.
We have a T-shirt that says Zap and
Oh, really?
Zionist and
Yeah.
proud.
Oh.
You wanna
Yeah,
see
should we
it?
show it?
I think I have it actually. I think you gave it to me last time.
Yeah, you might,
Yeah.
we might have. We might have. By the way,
Oh no, I don't have that one. No, I have the one from the word I can't say.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but I don't have this one. That's super. This is way cooler than the one with the word I can't.
Zap!
Yay!
Do you know, by the way, that in
say.
2017?
My name is not.
Amen. When at my wedding, we didn't have a wedding cake. We had amazing donuts.
I love
We had donut walls, right?
Wow.
There was a
We had
donut
one.
wall of amazing donuts,
We had our donut wall at the Israel 76th, which you guys promoted.
which was also amazing
Thank you
donuts.
for
if
that.
That
you
was an
recall.
awesome party.
That was a
Everyone
sick
really
party, yeah.
had a good time there.
Yeah, that was a
We're
sick
really
party.
happy
I know.
about that.
Yeah.
We still have pictures over there.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And there's
People left their
there's me and my
pictures.
friends.
Yeah.
So obviously we will be gifting Jeremy. We have a bunch of awesome T-shirts, but I believe the one that he liked the most
Yes,
is this bad boy right over here.
legend. Shout out to Chaim Topol,
Shout out for real.
huge legend.
This is the guy right here. That's it. This is
awesome.
the guy right here. I think this will look very nice in your collection.
Oh, it will. I love it. That's so awesome that like instead of doing anything like Hasbarai, you just get like
Yeah, thank you.
Make
Right?
it go.
I think that's what Hasbara
Yeah,
is. Hasbara is sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's
Yeah.
sharing the truth because
just
the
explain
truth will
everything.
sustain us. Yes.
Exactly.
Right. I have no problem sharing anything that can be perceived as negative because
Yeah.
when they understand the full story,
Yeah.
you recognize that we are not at fault for what has happened here.
Yeah, like exactly. You got the other shirt, it's Golden Meir, smoking a cigarette. You know, a lot of people
Should we show
might
off that shirt?
A lot of people might say like cigarette is probably not good for your health, but it's Golden Meir.
When it's Golden Meir, I think it's just fine.
she can do whatever she wants.
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah, if you're gonna save the
Amen.
world, you can have cigarettes.
And if you are interested in T-shirts like this, follow us on IG, Allied Voices for Israel.
Yeah.
You know, we give these out sometimes when the mood shall strike us, or maybe it's up to Jeremy, our boy over here.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, Daniel, thank you. That was awesome. That was a great review.
Thank you for having
And
us.
yeah, thanks for having me here. This is great. Allied Voice for Israel. And yeah, that's it for the Herring Review.
I'm Mr. El Chai.